Okay, so in this video we're going to do a bit of converting of decimals into fractions and fractions into decimals. I'll put on a couple of worksheets at the end of the Aladdin message. One will be just tenths if you want to stick to that if you're in third class. One will have tenths and hundredths for the fourth class people, or if you want to push yourself in third class too. Okay, let's get into it. There's a couple of rules you have to follow, okay? So here's my rules. Your decimal point is always to the right of the units. Remember we did that in the intro video? Look, there's my units. Decimal point is always to the right of it. Every single time without fail. Next rule, tenths are always the first place after decimal point. Always. So if you've got tenths and fractions, if you want to write them in decimals, they go the first place after a decimal point. Hundredths are always two places after a decimal point. And even if you've got 17 hundredths, it will be 1 7. It never goes past two places after decimal point, because if you put your 1 7 here, you're into thousandths. Look, so always two places after decimal points for hundredths. Really important. And the last one, and I'll explain this more at the end, is to change a fraction that has a denominator that isn't a multiple of 10. So we'll say a half or a third. They're not multiples of 10s into decimals. Then you must convert that denominator to a multiple of 10. So you must find a way to change that half into a tenth or hundredth or thousandth. Okay, so we'll look at that in a second. So let's get straight into the first one, okay? So 4 tenths. How can I convert that into decimals? Well, think back in my rules. Convert to decimals, put my decimal point to the right of my units. Okay, well I have 0 units here, so it'll be 0 point, and then my tenths go one place after decimal point, 0.4. Okay, simple. Let's look at our 9 tenths. Okay, let's think of my rules. Decimal point is to the right of my units. I have 0 units, so it's 0 point, and my tenths are the first column after it, 0.9. You can see them there. Next one, 1 and 8 tenths. Rules again. I have 1 unit, so my decimal point comes straight after that, so it's going to be 1 point, and my tenths come directly after the point 8. Okay? Same with 1 and 5 tenths. It's going to be my unit, my decimal point, and my tenths. So 1 point and my 5 tenths go in there. Okay? What about hundredths? Same rules apply in regards to decimal point, but it's a little bit different where you place your hundredths. So 9 hundredths. I have 0 units there. So it's 0 point, I have 0 tenths. 0 goes in that, and my 9 goes in my second column. 0.09. Hundredths always go to two places after your decimal point. Okay? What about 49 hundredths? Well, I have 0 units, so my decimal point comes after my 0 units. But I have 49 hundredths, so that actually comes in here so that there's two numbers after decimal point, and I know that 49 hundredths is actually the same as 4 tenths plus 9 hundredths. When you're dealing with hundredths, you never go more than two numbers after decimal point. There should always be two numbers after it. Hope everyone's clear on that. What about if it's the other way around? If we want to convert fractions or decimals into fractions. Actually, I forgot one more. Here, look, 3 and 56 hundredths. That's 3 units, so my decimal point comes after that. 3.56. So I only have two numbers after it. So 56 hundredths is the same as 5 tenths and 6 hundredths. 3.56. So let's convert our decimals to fractions now. So 0.3, we'll do our rules in reverse. So we've got 0 units, but my first column after the decimal point is always tenths, so I have 3 tenths. So it's the same as 3 over 10. Fraction form, remember, is a number, horizontal line, and a denominator after it, telling you how many equal parts are divided into. 2.4. So I have 2 units. Okay, there's my 2 units. And I have one number in the columns straight after decimal point, and that's 4, so that's 4 tenths, or 4 of 10. So 2.4 is the same as 2 over 4. Let's quickly look at these ones. 5.02, look, I've got my 5 units, and I have no tenths, but I do have 2 hundredths, so it's 5 and 2 hundredths. And here I've got 0.17, so there's no units there, but there are 17 hundredths. I know it's hundredths because there's two numbers after my decimal point, okay? So there'll be worksheets with that work out, but let's have a look at it. They're a little bit trickier. Like if you've got a half, okay? Now, there's no tenths and there's no hundredths and there's no thousandths there. That's the way decimals work. They go in tens. So I'm going to have to change this fraction into tenths if I can, or hundredths or thousandths. How can I change that into tenths? Well, I could multiply the bottom by 5. That would give me 10. But don't forget from fractions, whenever I do something to the bottom, I must do it to the top. So if I multiply this by 5, I must multiply this by 5. So that would give me 5 over 10. So 1 half is the same as 5 tenths, and 5 tenths is the same as 0.5. Because I have 0 units, but I have 5 tenths. Get that? You must change your denominator to a multiple of 10 And whatever you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. Let's look at the next one. Quarters. Okay, can't change quarters to tens because if you count up in fours, 4, 8, 12 doesn't work out. But I can change it to hundredths. And just to fast forward, you have to multiply forward by 25 to change it to 100. So if I multiply this by 25, I must multiply this by 25. So that gives me 25 over 100. So a quarter is the same as 25 over 100, or 0.25. Same with 3 quarters. Okay, we know we must multiply that by 25 to change it to hundredths. So I must also do this by 25. That gives me 75 hundredths, or 0.75. There's 0 units, and there's 75 hundredths. Only going 2 numbers after my decimal point. And finally, fifths. Can I change fifths, a 5 to a 10? Yes, I can. Multiply it by 2, and then also multiply the top by 2. So that would give me 4 over 10, which is the same as 0 units, 4 tenths, or 0.4. Okay, so there'll be a mixture of these in all the worksheets. Have fun, and well, I don't know how much fun it is, but good luck with it.